Hey guys, and welcome back. So today we're going to be doing another episode of Pigment Playtime, where I look at paints and pigments and explore and play with them and get under their skin. So today we're going to be looking at Ultramarine Blue. Ultramarine Blue is mostly made of PB29, and that's what all of these samples here are made with today. So I'm going to be doing a swatching test, a transparency test, and I'm going to be mixing it with a few colours which I have here. So a cool yellow, a warm yellow, a cool red, a warm red, an orange and an earth tone. So of the brand that I'm trying today, I am using my own handmade one, made with PB29. Rembrandt's Ultramarine Blue, made with PB29. Jackson's Ultramarine Deep, PB29, White Knight's Ultramarine, PB29, Old Holland's Ultramarine Blue Deep, PB29, and Turner's Ultramarine Blue, which is also PB29. What a surprise. Yes, they're all PB29, so all pretty consistent. However, you'll be surprised to see how much it varies between brands. So here's a little bit more information about the pigment of Ultramarine Blue, PB29. The following information comes from handprint.com, and I will leave a link down to that website in the description bar. It's really helpful if you're a bit of a pigment nerd. Ultramarine Blue's chemical name is sodium aluminium sulfosilicate. It's a synthetic pigment. Its natural organic pigment form is lapis lazuli. Lapis lazuli can be quite weak in comparison to ultramarine blue. It's also a lot more expensive and harder to find. You can only really get a decent colour from lapis lazuli if it is a very fine high grade, which is very pricey to get hold of and produce. Ultramarine blue pigment is widely available. Handprint.com notes that there are at least 20 manufacturers worldwide. It can vary in name from French Ultramarine Blue, Ultramarine Blue Finest, Permanent Blue, Ultramarine Blue Deep, Ultramarine Blue Green Shade. It can really vary depending on the manufacturer. Ultramarine Blue itself is very light fast, semi-transparent, staining, very dark valued, intense violet blue pigment. Handprint.com recommends it makes a great complementary colour to quinacridone gold, benzimidazolone orange, raw umber, and also mixes nicely with burnt sienna and red iron oxide. It can make a really nice range of neutral colours when mixed with those earth colours, and is a really good mixing paint when mixing with yellows to achieve good strong greens. Ultramarine Blue itself is very light fast, semi-transparent, staining, very dark valued, intense violet blue pigment. Handprint.com recommends it makes a great complementary colour to quinacridone gold, benzimidazolone orange, raw umber, and also mixes nicely with burnt sienna and red iron oxide. It can make a really nice range of neutral colours when mixed with those earth colours, and is a really good mixing paint when mixing with yellows to achieve good strong greens. You can already see, even when wet, how much the paint varies between manufacturer. Granulation can be heavily impacted depending on who makes the paint. Some ultramarine blues granulate quite heavily and have quite obvious granulation. Some have subtle to no granulation. It really does depend on where you get it from. One of the factors of the granulation of ultramarine, I believe, is down to the mulling of it. I find handmade paints are more granulating due to the fact they cannot be milled so finely as a commercial paint from a paint factory. This is a very popular colour and in most people's palettes. I do like ultramarine blue, but it is hard to find a good one. 5 out of the 6 I'm testing here are good ultramarine blues. One of them is not so good, which I will get to later. As much as I like ultramarine blue, I don't use it massively for colour mixing. I tend to prefer to use Fricodone blue or Prussian blue for my mixing, along with phthalos and ceruleans. So welcome back, and the colours have all dried now. We can see all of them in all of their entirety. Now with ultramarine blue it's a bit different to us people. First thing in the morning we always look really rough and unkempt. After a couple of hours, when we've settled into the day and our faces have settled, we look a lot better. Ultramarine blue is different in that respect. It looks really nice when wet and juicy on the paper, but when it dries it starts to look a little bit worse for wear. You can see these have all really dried down differently. They are still pretty vibrant, most of them, but they are obviously as well. They have also dulled a little bit, and you can see what they really look like. So I'm going to go probably in some kind of order. So first off, I'm going to talk about the cheapest on this list, and that will be Turner's. And that's a really nice ultramarine. It's pretty cheap. It's not bad. This is probably, this and the Rembrandt one are on par. These are probably what I would consider acceptable ultramarines. I wouldn't go anything that is lower quality than these two. You can see both of them have really nice mixes, really clear mixes, nice purples, nice greens, and a good set of neutrals from both of them. And both are transparent. They're all transparent colours. There is a bit of deposit on the White Knights and the Handmade one though. I think that's just where I painted the paint quite thickly. The White Knights one is also pretty cheap. It's a really nice one. It's quite a smooth one. It doesn't granulate very much. When painting this one out, it felt a little bit inky, but it was really nice. So the two on the list here, the Handmade one and Jackson's, they're both quite different. I'm going to start with the Handmade one first. So Handmade colours, in my opinion, Handmade ultramarine blues are the best. I have a couple of ultramarine blues from other handmade makers, and they are definitely a lot better than commercial brands. They granulate a lot more because the paint is not moulded so much as in a factory. So they have a lot stronger granulation, and the colours always tend to be a bit brighter. The Jackson's ultramarine / Sennelier ultramarine, because they're rumoured to be the same, are really nice as well. It doesn't really granulate, so if you're looking for an ultramarine that doesn't granulate at all, this one may be worth a shout. It's really smooth, it had a good movement in water. It is just a really nice colour. And again, both mixes are really good. Same with the white notes, and you can see here the granulation, a bit more crazy granulation in the Handmade paint. So the one I'm going to talk about on the list now is Old Holland. This is just disgraceful for an Ultramarine Blue. I included this one because it did so badly. I mean, it does have pretty nice granulation, but that's not enough to save it from the poor colour. It's really weak, it's grey, it's dull, it's everything you don't want in an Ultramarine Blue or mixing colour. This is really disgusting and really just... Old Holland should be ashamed that they make this one. I have quite a lot of Old Holland paints, and they're usually really nice, really vibrant and pigmented. This was not the case. It was quite hard to re-wet this one. It didn't move very well in water. I really had to use a brush to drag it, and it just wasn't very nice overall in general. And it shows in the mixes. The mixes are also a lot weaker in strength compared to all the other ones. So this is all of them. The sketches, the final scan of this will be available on Patreon if you want to see it in more detail. What do you guys think? Which one is your favourite? And do you have a preferred brand of Ultramarine Blue that you use? So thank you so much for taking the time to watch this video. Please give it a big thumbs up and a small comment down below if you did. And hopefully I shall see you in the next episode. Take care and bye bye.